show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show. I am your host, the big guy Ryback. Happy Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Streaming live on Instagram and TikTok, the big guy Ryback22 on there. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Swing on over here to Ryback TV on YouTube, where you can be the co-host of this show. The ebb and flow of the show goes where your questions goes. Super chats are always greatly appreciated and brought up on the screen. Health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, sports, and anything and everything in between, usually on that. This show is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for all of our audio listeners out there. This show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors for all people, men and women, he, she, and thee on feedmemore.com. New customers, first-time customers, one-time code, discount code 30% off, Ryback30, Ryback30, feedmemore.com. Returning customers get 20% off. FeedMe20, FeedMe20, and you all get a free bottle of our Too Sweet blood sugar support formula, little cheat meal formula, high carb formula, helps us use energy more efficiently between carbohydrates and fats. Very good when occasionally doing a cheat meal, or for people that are consuming a more higher carbohydrate diet. It is better to put it in your diet once or twice a day. Very good stuff. I'm a little out of it today. I still the low caffeine, took a nap. This is the second time I've taken a nap since I've switched to low caffeine. Hasn't even been 2 weeks. And but I've been getting up very early, in all fairness. Today I actually woke up at 3:30 and was able to get back to bed till about 5. And because I wanted to make sure I got all my sleep, but I wasn't I'm waking up with a lot of energy. So it's like I was like, I'm just gonna put my head down, and luckily I did and got a little extra sleep. But it's good. It's all good. And I feel very good, way better than I thought I would feel, cutting the caffeine down to the amount I am, which is only one serving of my Wake Up Unlimited Energy twice a day on that. And I very carefully make sure I weighed it so I could see what it looks like. Because if I don't weigh something, I'm going to take too much. Like if I don't have a visual representation of that amount, and a lot of us don't know. That's like people with rice and other servings of food, 8 ounces of meat or 4 ounces of steak or chicken. Like if we don't, weigh this stuff out, we're going to overconsume. Like go measure one serving of peanut butter. It's going to disappoint every single one of you. There's not one of you that's going to come back. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. It sucks. It sucks because it's not we'll take a nice big friendly scoop. This ain't going to hurt anybody. Meanwhile, you somehow get 3 servings on the spoon. Tiffany, Ryback, all of us, Rogan, I've heard him talk about it. We're all guilty. There ain't no, but if you measure it, you then don't have to measure it every time, because you just know, if you're cheating yourself, if you're being honest. So I do that with the Wake Up. I needed to see what half of a scoop looked like, because it's not 3/4 of a scoop, stupid. It's half a scoop. No, that half. I only did it. I was intending to get half. I had 3/4 of it, but I know I need to keep my caffeine at a certain level with everything I'm doing. And it's, by the way, boosted my cardiovascular endurance even more. My recovery has gotten faster because my heart isn't beating as fast all the time. I'm not overheating the engine as the woman I'm working with on my shoulder told me, because I go hard. So I have to, so it felt good to take a nap, but I was a little out of it. And it was only about a 25-minute little siesta with the eyes shut. It kind of like that meditative, like out of it for a bit, but it seemed like a lot of time had gone by, but it didn't. And it was good sleep. The dog's right there. And then up, did all my rehab prior, because I realized I got ready to do the show prior. I got everything all geared up. I'm going to do my rehab first on the workout for the shoulder, because there's so many things in the day. It can get overwhelming if I don't break stuff up with how much it is. And then after I did the rehab, everything, it was probably about 40 minutes of the weight work of just the shoulder. And that's not counting my weight training I got to go do, still in my cardio. But it was, I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute. And damn it, it felt good. I'm not gonna lie. Naps. Never realized how good. I've always just stayed awake so damn long, caffeined up all the time. Anyways, welcome to the show, guys. Good to see all of you. Enough about me, as usual. What's going on with you? Bobby, thank you. Hey, big guy, how's Secret doing? My dad's dog. She's doing fantastic. She's here still, which has also been been putting in a lot of work with every things into the keeping my dad's dog alive, which is I consider my dog Secret as well. Family. I just somehow just keep going. Like I don't let things, but I was like, that nap was much needed today with everything. But like Secret, she's doing great, but she could stress me out a little bit too, because I have the stairs. She's very attached right now to me being here, and I think something of getting her better has made her even more. She likes to just be around me. She's always loved to be around me. I was the one that initially got her and saved her from the situation she was in. But so if I run upstairs, I have the gate in front of the stairs so Sophie doesn't go up. Little guy, little devil knows how to move them. Sophie would never even dare move the gate. But little guy will take his nose and throw it away and just go run right up. But that's if he wants to get up there. Secret though, can't even let me go upstairs if I'm out of her sight and she knows I went upstairs. She tries to go and get up the stairs. She can't be going up them with her legs though. And I've caught her and I've had to go lie down and tell her, and she has. But like today, I went to go get my trunks and my towel to go hop in the hot tub, and early in the morning, and literally from the time I ran into my bathroom and got changed real quick and came out. I mean, we're talking seconds of like, because I knew I had to be quick, and she laid down. She'd already moved the thing, and today tried to come up the stairs and was like up 3 stairs, and and she used to go up them, but her legs are so weak and they're not good for her, like Sophie was. But if she were to fall, and she's done this when she was healthy, she actually fell down my stairs halfway, like up from the bottom. She took a little tumble. Her legs, because she's always been clumsy, and she's the most loving dog, just such a loving dog. And today she like stopped on the 2nd or 3rd stair, and I like no. Came down and got her and picked her up. You don't do that, but she's doing great. But it's like anytime I have to be strategic with anything that I do, and but she's on the track to go back home, hopefully by the weekend with my father. I just keep her here for the rest of the week. I know she'll be excited to go home. I know my dad is looking forward to getting her home, and it went from we thought we were going to have to put her down. I was already there. Like I had already, Sunday was pretty much, and I told my dad that when we talked on Saturday or Friday, just so he, I go Saturday is probably going to be a big day, which that was the big day. We finally got her to take her medicine because she was on past 3 days of no food and was very weak and very she's 44, 45 pounds. She's not like a little dog, she's not a massive dog, but she's bigger than Sophie and little guy. And when she can't walk, and carrying her all around, and I've got Sophie up still. It was, I was like, man, and I go, we need you to take this medicine, little baby. And luckily with what online, the people that chimed in on Twitter got the brain rolling, and my mom, and then it's like saying like, we got to do something. And, and then realizing what we could crush up the medicine, and she had a food syringe and the chicken broth, and and that's all that it got. We needed to get the ball rolling, and she's eating very good. She's still not eating out of a bowl as much as I want her to, because we're giving her. My mom's giving her a lot of chicken, and she's got steak, and she's eating actually really good. I need her though to be eating her rice and vegetable and protein food that she'll be eating with my dad eventually, and he makes the food for him with real food, and puts a little bit of the kibble food for the fiber in there, because they have a little more issue with the fiber because he doesn't have all the vegetables. But yeah, man, it's she's doing all right. Somebody says, do I hate the Miz? No, I think the Miz is great. I've always gotten along awesome with the Miz. came up together from Tough Enough. We don't like talk or anything out really outside. We would talk there quite a bit. We worked together quite a bit. But we've never been overly like close in the sense of we came up together from Tough Enough. It was like had each other's numbers, but never. And we'd hung out early on in Deep South Wrestling, as far as gone out. But he was never like with the group that I hung out with when in Deep South. Even though we hung out a lot, we'd all go out together and stuff. But he wasn't like didn't live in the same complex that a bunch of us lived in, and then he got called up to the road. He was doing live events, and he was ahead of everybody. He'd had some independent experience, and he was fast tracked up to the main roster and was a much more comfortable, and I would just say better promo than and he knew he had a better identity, I think too. I was brand new. I didn't know who I was yet. I had an idea, didn't know, I nowhere near, the development that was going to be coming with that. And so we just never were, around each other as much. But we've always gotten along great. I think I talk very highly of him. And I don't think I've ever not talking highly of him. So I think he's one of the most consistent superstars in the history of the business, at least that I'm aware of, that I've seen and through, because it never, I'm sure there's been a lot of consistent people, but I think his track record, he's stayed healthy and he's entertaining, and he's very good at everything that he does. And we've talked about that numerous times on here. I hope he has one good championship run before he hangs him up, if he ever does in the near future. Let's see here. Good to see all of you guys. Sweet Sugar in the house. Super chat. Thank you, Tyler. What's up, Ryback? I'm watching Man versus Food right now. Which team wins? Ryback and DX versus John Cena and Brothers of Destruction. Tell the pups I say hello. Dogs, Sweet Sugar says hello. One Man versus Food. I used to watch that back in the day. That guy, and I've seen some stuff on his story, and fascinating individual. And I was always, that guy has a very good personality, a good voice, and obviously can do those crazy food challenges. He was entertaining, man. I tell you, if I could never wrestle, and it's funny, I know the guy, Vic Vegas is on that. He's on Bar Rescue. Vic Vegas, he's in Vegas. He owns Sinful Subs down in South Vegas off of, I think it's South, is it Fort Apache and Rainbow? But it's Sinful Subs here in Vegas. He's on IG. Vic Vegas, though, he's on the Bar Rescue, that show. I've seen that. I enjoy that show quite a bit. They've done some Vegas bars, but he used to work. He was at the Monte Carlo. My dad used to work there before. That's gone now. It's Park MGM, I think. So right before I got signed in wrestling, I'm at UNLV. I'm working, and I was in school full time, but I was working at the pub and in the pub and brewery. My dad had been a bartender at the Hacienda, and then there his whole life, adult life here in Vegas. Then Hacienda only because they ended up closing and imploding it, and then he was at the Monte Carlo the last half of his career, and well respected, and everybody, like everyone got along with him well, and so I was able to get in pretty easily over there and have a decent job. But Vic was in the back, chef, one of the cooks, and I didn't. He's a big, stout, jacked guy, and a little smaller, not the same height, but like physically all tattooed up, cool look, and he always looked like he could be somebody, and he had that personality that you could tell. And it's funny, but he was a big wrestling fan too. And then we ended up finding out we talk wrestling there, and I was like, yeah, I'm trying, I'm gonna want to do it. And so he's very supportive. And sure enough, I come in and I say I get signed by them, and then I have to leave, and I get picked for the Tough Enough, and I go make it. right? And decided to drop out of college and all that. But Vic was in the back. And so that's how I knew him. We always talked, and he was very supportive. And then I go on and have my career and do these things. And he was always really cool. And like along the way, then he catches his break and with the Food Network. And he's on the bar rescue. He's on a lot of shows, or multiple shows for them. And like he's done well for himself. And you know, he has multiple restaurants here in Vegas. And just a cool, positive dude, man. And so I, you know, the man versus food, where I was good, it wouldn't be out of the question if I ever like go, hey man, do you think you can get me in a meeting with the Food Network people? We can maybe do a big guy versus food that I used to do on here. If I could never wrestle, but that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So, but you know, I wouldn't mind at some point like something like that with what I do on the show already. That makes it a layup to get something like that, because they have something to see your personality, and that's where like people don't understand that you can catch huge breaks by making your own content. And that's how a lot of people, they see stuff like that, and then they go, man, we can make a lot of money with this, or we have an idea that might do well with this. And but yeah, so it's crazy small world how things work out with all of that you just say that. It made me think of all that. But I'm gonna go with me and DX over Cena and the Brothers of Destruction, because I've got Hunter and Sean on my side on that. So I think on the hierarchy rankings there, that the NXT lead guy and the guy running creative on the main shows, married to the boss's daughter, I think we're going to be all right on that one. I think we're going to pull that one off. And I'm going to say Cena's taking the pinfall. It would probably be Cena taking the pinfall. It would be a super kick into a shell shock, into picking him up and throwing him in to load for Hunter to get the pedigree. Hunter gets the pinfall, and we were the victors. Kane and Taker would be taken care of on the outside. We'd make sure it would be a 3-on-2 attack at some point. We would put them down. We would get them so that they wouldn't, you know, they're protected for the finish. Do you have any experience with acting, with how much you dig Terminator? I've always fan cast you as the new T-800 dude. You'd kill it. Thank you. No, I do think that would be something if I was to go all in and devote myself to that. Like anything, it's just not anything I've talked about it that I've ever been overly. It doesn't just compare. I don't want to say that I'm not passionate about it. I don't think that's the right terminology. I just don't the right way to phrase it. I think that I am just focused on my priorities of growing my business and doing everything with my brand, and getting my social media fixed, but with returning to pro wrestling, because that was always the goal. That was never the leaving pro wrestling. The walking out was never supposed to be this. And unfortunately, I don't control the way. It was just supposed to be to get my body to get away out of that environment and to figure out what was wrong with me with my back and shoulder. And unfortunately, it just was way worse. And it's like I said, it saved my career and my life if I getting out of there. So there's like zero regrets on that, because I'm not here in this condition right now. If I stayed, I know that for a fact. I'd probably be dead. I probably would have been dead with that, because that would have, if you would have hit me with a 5-disc fusion and shoulder replacement with no options, 34, 35, and like then working out would have been taken out of my life. Working out and wrestling are the two of the things I love more than anything, which is why I love wrestling so much, is because it combines the two things that I grew up loving and really being into one, and athleticism, and like in sports was the other things. It's like the perfect life of everything, the things that I enjoy doing with that. So like you would have like essentially like taken all of that away. Now positive, yeah, and everything, but it would have been rough. There would have been a rough spell there of probably there would have been a rough spell, no doubt. I don't see how there wouldn't have just getting hit with all of that. So it was a good thing with all of that, but it never was supposed to be this long. But it's like life, you get tested, things happen, and it's up to us how we respond. And you know, this has by far been the most difficult thing that I've ever encountered, and from the social media standpoint, in my shoulder, The back at one point was, and then that got better and it made the load easier. But in the shoulder, like I've never devoted myself even to this level that I have to try to figure out. And I understand why nobody has ever came back from this. It's scary, but I was like, nope, I'm going to do it because I know I can do it. I just don't want to be miserable doing it with the shoulder, and that's why I'm just trying to get this last bit to where I know that I doesn't need to be 100%. It just needs to be where it's not. Just needs to be a little tad higher. It's hard to explain, but it's gonna happen with everything. But the acting, the Terminator, anything like so. If something came along, I would fully embrace if I had better control of everything, of everything. The other issues were resolved. I think my outlook on it would be much more appealing than it currently has been. Someone says, I can't believe Vince is still trying to ruin your career. Well, you guys got to understand, this is to make an example. It's probably, in his mind, it's probably teaching me a lesson. And I don't know what that lesson would be of other than trying to, like, if you're trying to destroy somebody, that's a pretty risky game to play with that. And that's why I've shared everything I've shared, and posting the legal letter of wanting my social media that they've never sent to anybody. If I walked out, I said, F you, I stopped communicating. I walked out and I won everything. Now there's other options too. So in that, and he knew that, like, along the way, do you think that with him and who he's connected to, this is not difficult. And all these people are all connected. And it was the only thing, like I said, that I failed to fully really figure in, that I thought once I got out of there that I would be free. It couldn't be any further from the truth. And it's a scary, frightening thing when your health is taken and this is your life and everything, all these hours and everything I've done to build all of this. It's scary that I can't even talk to one person from any platform or anything, and just like, please, can we please just talk about this? I would like you to explain these things. Can you explain why you've told me I'm restricted and that under good behavior it will be fixed? Can you please explain to me what that was along the way, and why it's been 7 years, and on every platform, and why you've removed me from being able to market towards my name, why you've done this, why you've done that, why Instagram and Facebook, why won't you let me have my merch store? Not my supplements, my merch store. Why won't you let me sell my merchandise on my Instagram page? This is the stuff you guys don't understand. Like, I just get opportunities in TikTok. Can you please tell me why you haven't paid me since October? You said you messed up on the suspension of the creator fund, that I didn't violate any rules and it was a mistake. Now, and you still haven't paid. You haven't paid me anything when I was making thousands prior, a month before they really cranked everything down. It's like, you guys don't understand. It's being done to make an example. And the longer time goes on with the way everything is, and if I don't get back to doing something to where I can get this fixed, they think they're gonna break me down to a point to, like, where it's gonna, like, crawl back or apologize. It's like, for what? I've been more than willing to communicate. I want you off my social media. I want this over with and done with. But it is being done to make an example of me to talent and future talents. Do not dare fucking walk out. Do not try to get over on us. Don't try to stand up for yourselves. Like Vince likes to say, you're going to eat shit and like it. He hates the fact that I said, no, thank you. I'm done eating your shit. I'm out of here. And it's that personal, and people don't understand. You just got to keep fighting, stay positive, like, get healthy, and then hopefully the right people can help make the situation right. And the truth is going to come out on all of this. And the goal is to be in a great place when it does with it. The worst thing you want to be is years and something happens and you're gone, you're dead. And then, 20 years after you're dead, all this stuff comes out. It's great. Happy at some point it will, right? But you want it to be when you're doing well, and success is the best revenge. And that's how I've stayed focused on doing everything. But it's, when your whole life revolves in your business and content and marketing, and it's getting sliced away, and you're like, you try to reach out and have conversations and can't. It's scary. And it sucks talking about it all the time too, right? Nobody wants to hear this all the time. Nobody. I don't want to talk about it all the time, but it's like, I don't know what else to do. because I'm just praying that somebody, hoping, whatever the fuck terminology you want to use, somebody along the way goes, God damn, man, this is, anybody I've ever worked with that is familiar with stuff, and they go, Jesus Christ, why is your thing so low? You have a big following. Yeah, I know. So trademark has not come in yet. No, any day. I will. I'm going to end up touching base with my attorney by the end. If I don't, maybe if by Friday I don't have anything here, I'll shoot a message. And see, I already know he's going to just come back and just go, let's wait till the end of the month. That's what he was told on he's always been right on everything. He has never been off. But I'll just touch base and see, is it still before June, like you said? Because did something change? Maybe I'll even shoot him that today, just so I have an update for tomorrow, and see. But I'm just still waiting. Like I said, I'm going to get an email from him that we've won, and congratulations with the documentation, and then I could publicly acknowledge that, and then we can move forward here, hopefully, with everything, and so. Hello, why is there no off season for wrestling in the WWE to get people to rest things? Yeah, unfortunately, with the television and the way that their TV and probably the way the deals are set up, and the best thing, and I think that at some point, I just think that wrestling doesn't need an off season. It just needs to give talent ample time off. And it would be great if on every contract there was like a 3-month off period, or where you get 3 months off at your leisure. And if you want to do all 3 months, it's just got to be communicated and worked out scheduling, right? And because they give guys time off when guys request for time off if they ask, but everyone's always scared because you don't want to be gone, because you don't want them to you can get punished for that stuff, and people have. If you took time off of yourself frequently, somebody would probably come over to you and be like, "What are you doing?" Or you just stop getting booked. You'd be back, and then you wouldn't be booked on live events or things, or your money would go down. So that stuff needs to be into contracts with talent if you do that. But that's up to the individuals, and it's up to the promotions too to be conscious of that. That, hey, maybe it's a good idea to give guys some time off every year. And plus it can keep people on TV. You could push different people. I'm sure it's not easy, probably, figuring all that out. But the way they have creative, and they have the roster sheets with that. If you know who you're going to have, and you don't know who you're going to have, and then you focus on the things that you have ahead of you, and but it would benefit people greatly to have some time off, and that going all the time just burns you out with it. And you take pride in it when you're doing it, but you can't really focus on anything else. And you're just working with injuries. And like I said, most of the guys, that's why wrestlers die younger than any other profession. It's because of the burnout and that WWE old schedule, and just with bad habits, like I've said, and injuries, and with pills. And I'll tell you a huge major problem in pro wrestling is ibuprofen. I would bet so many guys, and I would see it, and I took it, and I was good. I stopped taking that. That was one of the first things I did when I left. No more ibuprofen. I would take that 4 pills 3 times a day for years. And guys, because you're just going one day at a time, you're doing anything that it's like they talk about, it's the hurt business. You're always hurting. You just don't want to be injured. But those hurts turn into injuries oftentimes if not taken care of. But you're just mending things daily to just get through the day, and to get through the workout, to get through the day with that. And ibuprofen is one of those things that, like Skittles, you just see popping. It's you got to be really conscious of that when you're wrestling 4 or 5 nights a week, 3 nights a week. It's just too much but you got to do something. The pain could be really bad at times. You need something to be able to perform and give people their money's worth, so that you're not half-assing it or working or limping around. It's it's never being done out of ill will for the individuals, because ibuprofen doesn't make you feel. It's not like a drug in the sense of you're not trying to get a high from it or anything. It's pain management. It's part of the business, but there's a reason why those are the things that aren't talked about enough, that wrestlers need to be aware of and conscious of, is the ibuprofen usage. Yeah, brother, we talked about Billy the other day. It's fairly unfortunate, and we just hope that no matter what, he's at peace and hopefully can come out on top. But it's a unfortunate situation. Yeah, the Vince situation. It is. Trust me, it's beyond. It's unfortunate, and I've looked at this as a game all along because I've had to in order to win and to come out on top of this, come out whole. Is I go. That's where I go. If I just get my health back, that can throw a wrench in all their plans. They can't stop anything if I get my health back on that. In fact, they'll probably do quite the opposite. But it's not. I've in the I think a lot of people it's just gone so unnoticed, being so suppressed and being not able to have a voice loud enough. And I think so much time has gone by. Like people, you don't realize a lot of people that if you haven't been following me and watching how big my views were when I created my channels and these things, and to see how they've fallen and they've done it, and it's significantly despite growing, and it doesn't add up. And but I know why it's being done, and it's very simple. It's to they want to cut me off everywhere. They think I'm going to run out of money at some point, even though I have so many safety nets that I can do to win this game, because it's all a game. And I don't know if he knows how prepared I am to go to win the game. Like I'll go all the way. I'll go to death. It's and I have a lot more time on this earth than he does on this, and that's just the facts of the situation. And but it's I knew when I left that it was going to be intense with things, but never knew it was going to be to this level of just trash with it. But I think the best thing I could do is talk about it and keep doing what I'm doing, because it's going to come out. The truth will come out, and when it does, and it's going to be very loud, and there's going to be no denying it. And I've been beyond protected. So it's just a matter of staying strong and finishing it here. Like I say, finish it. Like, this is what I'm at the finish it stage with all of it, and there's going to be different opportunities without them, and I'm going to have to be ultra positive and fight for what's right, even once all that, because I have a feeling that it won't. There'll probably be a lot of fake things put out there, even once I'm back, as there has been being gone. The most damage has been done when you're gone and away from the business, and you had good relationships with a lot of people and the people that know you, but you're gone, and then all these things come out, and they try to constantly push like these crazy things that weren't there prior, but when you're gone, and like to try to change the story, and you're just like, that's not true. That's not, but people believe it and read it, and then get very hateful and judgmental, and then they literally try to change the story of everything that happened. And you're just like, well, no, but you can't get caught up in that. You just gotta keep doing the work to keep. And like I said, the the saving grace in all of that is you can come tell all these people all the bad things and you're just making it a better out. You want to keep my name out there so you're not forgotten, even though you've suppressed, but you're not forgotten. And you say my name to any wrestling fan, they're gonna have an opinion, good or bad. They're gonna have a reaction. It's gonna be I love them or I can't stand them, I hate them. So you've done me a favor in that sense that I could easily come back as a heel with serious momentum with all of that and just play into it very easily with that. So but it's just one of those, you just got to stay focused, keep doing the work, and hopefully here it's you're dealing with it's a different level of evil that I wish that was not the case. But like my thing is even like how can you can't repair that either, right? Haha, oh, it was all just a game. You made you passed the test. Like, no, man. Like, what if I would have killed myself, man? Like, what about my family? What do you know? So it's not right. Super chat, Tyler. Thank you, buddy. Shawn Michaels never had a match with The Rock or Brock Lesnar. Which one do you think would have been better to see? I'm going to say Rock and HBK. Yeah, Rock HBK would have been really interesting. I don't know, man. Brock HBK. You're talking about wild Sean. You talking about, prior to that first retirement, Sean, pain when everything was like the pills and everything, a little more of a wild man. That would have been pretty fun to watch. With that and is Victor, the dominating force, Brock Lesnar of 2014-15 versus the pre-retirement, first retirement HBK. Man, that was in Vince's ear saying things. I'm not putting Brock over. He's going to eat 2 super kicks, because 2 at that time was like 20 now. So I don't know. That would have been that would have been. What about a triple threat, Sean? Triple threat would be pretty entertaining. Who would you go for the victory in that triple threat? Have I ever been to wrestling school? No, brother. I don't know how I made it. They literally just put me on TV, and I'm like, this stuff is pretty easy, and I just did it. Man. Yeah, it was. Just skipped all of it the whole time. Never went to Deep South Wrestling, Ohio Valley Wrestling, or Florida Championship Wrestling, or on the inaugural season of NXT. I just said, screw all that. I'm money. Put me on TV. Push me, damn it. Push me, pay me. Just don't push me over the edge. Push me, pay me. That's my new, I think I just came up with a new catchphrase. Push me, pay me. Got to come up with a shirt for that. Push me, pay me, feed me more. That's the new close. Push me, pay me, feed me more. Let's go, Sweet Pea. And I got my little, that's Big Daddy Ryback, who's got the Pizzorn stars and women with him. The crew. I really want to have a good run as Big Daddy Ryback. That will probably be the most fun I ever have in my career, having a run as Big Daddy Ryback, going and doing interviews, late night shows, all peaked up, ready to go with the have the what would I call? I got to have a name for the hungry hose. My hungry hose. I've got the clothes already. What's the Big Daddy Ryback is? This goes to all my hungry hoes out there. Big Daddy Ryback is your meal ticket. Feed me if you need me. Feed me more. And then the women give me kisses. I give a little sugar to the big guy. Get a couple little sweet kisses from the chicks. Flex the peaks. You know the deal. Go back to catering and then hit the road. Push me, pay me. Yeah, opposite of job squats, pin me, pay me. I'm push me, pay me. Push me, pay me more. Good to see all of you. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Welcome from Montreal. Thank you very much, Matt, saying Warrior and Ventura, they beat him in court. And damn it, so will you. Fans know, support you, and back you. Thank you. Like I said, the big problem is when you're not seen consistently over a long period of time. A lot, and I'm telling negative things. I'm just going to share with you. Like, I see things, like I'll see it like when a comment pops up on TikTok on like the main thing, and like, or somebody will post and tag me in a video that's like bashing me. There was a video saying what, like, the 15 like hardest wrestlers to work with on this, and you just see it and you just know, you go like, that's not true. with it on this. That was never true, but they showed the Punk clip with the table. And like I've said, the people, they believe him when he says that I dropped him on concrete. Like I would have been fired. I can't stress this enough. You guys would have heard reports would have came out on the incident. There was never any backstage incident. Like it's so it's like, how do you get people to believe that love somebody? Like, no, this guy made this part up. He took a thing that happened. The table bump didn't go perfectly, but we landed on padding. And there was never any issues. I'm more than aware he could have got hurt on something on because he got hurt on regular things all the time that with other people I would see and complain. Like he was just his body was beat up. Let's just leave it at that. Right. But you've lied and deceived people and said I dropped you on concrete and caused of these issues. And like he wouldn't have kept working with me. We still had quite a ways to go on that. That would have been next. He would have went right in there and go, I'm done. He would have been done. But he knew that it was an opportunity to there it was. There was a visual thing that he could then, oh, there was no padding. He dumped me on concrete and people are going to believe it on that. Right. So it's but you just see that stuff. And but people like the younger people go, he was my favorite when I was a kid. I never realized what a piece of shit he was. And I can't believe I used to like that guy. But this is all the game of hide your stuff, push out lies. Other people make videos on things and other lies and other things. And then people don't see you like you should be being seen. So they can't find you like it was happening prior. So all this time is going by of not seeing you on that. And then they see something, they get like, then they change their opinion. The good thing, like I said, is they just switch it from good to bad. So you could work that still, right? So it can work against them. And that's me finding the positive in it. But it's a crazy thing when you're gone and like you see and the people that know you just that are witnessing it, the other wrestlers, they go, this is wild. Like that. And they go, yeah, I live it. I know. And to see like how the story changed to some, not to everyone, but to some. But so you just, like you said, the main thing is get your health back, do the work and put yourself, when you get back there, the truth then will shine on that. And then the people will realize, holy shit, we were wrong. We were wrong. And that's all you can hope for on the situation and keep living your life. Let's see here. Hold on. If you came out with Phoenix Marie and her friends, that would seal the deal. Man, I would love to have Phoenix, Kendra Lust, Kimmy Granger, that crew. And I would also like one even younger one, in that the other girls, I would be storytelling within the story. The other three would be a little bit jealous of the younger one. I would give the younger one just a little more attention. Big Daddy Ryback's a real piece of shit. So like there would be some hints of jealousy along the way with the women, but all in all, just like the tribal chief and that old deal, there's some controversy, some drama within the family, right? But nothing that we can't take care of it behind the scenes. Yep, Push Me Pay Me is getting over in the chat. Good to see Push Me Pay Me getting over so strongly here on my first show of saying it. I don't remember what was going on behind the scenes when the Punk, the fan. You got to remember, I think I was in the ring was I in the ring with Vince, right? When I came out, was that when I came out and saved him with Punk when the fan incident happened? So like I couldn't even see, like, because he was where he was at, and like I had whatever was going on, and I remember maybe I want to say I remember something going on with like security, but you couldn't like really tell what was going on out there, and it's a blur. It didn't involve me. And I think everyone was trying to Vince, I'm sure Vince and Punk and Triple H, and they were all occupied with that after. So I don't remember. I did my business. Everything went good. We had our producers, and we probably just getting ready and go to SmackDown, getting ready to go shower, go drive to the next town. And then I don't remember the next day if I heard about it or anything, but I never got caught up in like the drama of any of that stuff anyways, because it didn't involve me, and it wasn't, what was I going to add to it or take it? Well, it just wasn't. I think like and it was involving Punk, and I don't think it was there. He had issues with quite a bit of people there, so it was just like whatever. I want to say I missed a question here. I'm scrolling through the some of the questions. Sorry, guys. Somebody said I hate John Cena. No, I do not hate John. We follow each other on Twitter. I've not talked to John in a long time. I've always been very honest about our interactions and things. And like I said, we had some positive. We talked a bit. We had positive interactions more towards the end. Um, and but I've always been honest about things in speaking. But I think I've also been very fair when I talk about the certain things about him as well. That and give my opinion from what I saw and what I saw personally from him, which again, people can be good and bad. And I think that sometimes I try to explain this to people. We all have our good and bad moments. You try to have more good moments than bad, and you hope that not one moment is bad enough to take away from all the good. That's I think we all try to live our lives. And but I think he had some bad moments in front of me. And I understand. And I try to out of that element where I could step back and can see from his eyes of like threats and different things and wanting to stay in a certain level. And there's that atmosphere you got to be protective of when and you've got everybody gunning for that spot essentially. And I was gunning for that spot. I don't think I was not shy about it at all. And that it was more than confident and I could back it up. But there's a lot that goes into that and a lot of political things. And there's just a lot. And I think, he's probably learned and grown over the course of his career and what he can, that's for him, he has to, that's his life and the different things. And everyone goes about their business there in little different ways. And it's just the way that is. But I've always talked very highly about John in the ring. And I'm happy for him and his success. He works very hard. And I always said, I think a guy like me and him get along quite well. And we did prior, but I think that when you're gunning for a spot and your merchandise is hot and things are like, it's like, that how Vince is, and if he likes somebody, and there's just a lot that goes on with all of that. So I don't think I've ever just flat out came out and said I hate John, and especially too as years go by. I think I'd become more understanding of the situation and don't take it as personal as maybe you do in the moment. But don't regret anything. Always worked hard, did what was was asked, and you know. Thank you very much on the vertical suplex. Yeah, I think I would sometimes do the stalling vertical and just do the feed me more every once in a while with the other hand. I prefer to just do a stalling suplex and just hold on with both hands. So especially when you're doing the larger guys, because you want to. I can hold. I would get Eric Rowan and hold Eric Rowan. And Rowan was so great with his body. He's probably the most impressive stalling suplex I've ever done, and we would be able to hold that thing up there. I think we got like he's like 300 something pounds, mind you, like he's heavy guy. And he's definitely in the 300s, but I would hold him up there for a good period of time on that. And a lot of that is his balance. If he didn't have good balance, that would have been increasingly difficult with that. But he was able to get pretty straight where once you can find that sweet spot, the weight can just rest into you and you're just balancing, and you've got a front and back balance with the two arms with how you got it. And you just want to try to keep it there and stay focused. When you've got lighter guys, you could play around a little more, especially if they get in, you've got that locked in pretty good. You can take that right arm and you can maybe do a little something. And guys do it. Lashley does it from time to time. It's so hit or miss. So sometimes you get that off and you could do it really good. You got a really good firm grasp. And then you do it other times and it's not, you're like, you're losing it. Because it can, the tiniest little bit of movement can throw the whole thing off with that. I'll tell you what's impressive is the one arm gorilla press with the guy up, and I know that it's a lot of that's the other guy as well in balancing that, but it's a very impressive feat of strength on that one. And it's one of the AEW guys does it, if I'm not mistaken. And every time I say, oh, man, that's what a hell of a move. Oh, it's never not going to get a great reaction. That could probably get one of the best reactions every show. That's such a great live event spot too, just in towns over. If you get a good guy that you can work with that has great balance and doesn't really stress you out too much, and like weight wise, and you can really have fun with that. Thank you, Sport of Wrestling, for buying the Shell Shock Weight Management Formula, our #1 bestseller on feedmemore.com, the fat burner. I would start off 4 capsules twice a day on that, morning and afternoon on that, and make sure you figure in there's 40 milligrams of caffeine on that per serving per 4 capsules, and that should get the ball rolling. There's it is a higher capsule count on that, and that with the big guy formula as well, because we use so many really good ingredients. We don't shortchange you guys. So when you use more ingredients, it's more powder. You have to have more capsules to be able to get the dosage. And that's where I think once people realize that too, with the Feed Me More Nutrition on certain ones, the products that we have packed full of the ingredients that get the desired results, it's like people don't worry about it. We don't get the complaints. It's great because the products actually work. And now some people just don't want to take capsules, but I'm like, well, do you want to get the results that you want? How bad do you want it on that? And it's like, do you want a company to give you one capsule and lie to you and say you're going to get these results and just take your money? It's like, I'm not doing that with that. But it's 4 capsules twice a day. And if you could bump that up, and the maximum dosage on that is 4 capsules 4 times a day, or 8 capsules 2 times a day with that. And it works. I'm telling you, like, people that are dieting for shows, and like, you do 8 capsules twice a day, your final 3-4 weeks out from a show, you're gonna lean up even more. It is. We get the people, and with a lifestyle change with that, and a diet change, and you throw that fat burner in, it makes a world of difference. We got the emails from people from 20, 30, 40, 10 pounds a week for a wedding somebody lost, to 100 and something pounds multiple people have come back with, that have changed their life. It's like, to me, who would have thought a big dumb pro wrestler, as people like to say, like a lot of, right, who, and you get something from people changing their lives and taking the things that you've done and applied to yourself and to better yourself, and it is drastically improved and changed their lives. It's a very powerful, positive experience that I wish everybody could experience and feel it. I really take a step back and just like, oh man, this is really cool with this, despite things going on, to like help people and have loyal customers that keep coming back, and that write thank you emails. Thank you for coming out with this. Before this, we didn't know what supplements, and we didn't want to take this stuff, and like, to give people an option that have a similar mindset, that want to just be a little healthier and avoid the artificial sweeteners and colors and that stuff. And it makes me very happy. Water, thank you for joining. Yeah, I've talked about that in the past, and like I've said, it's none of my business, and I never was going to ever uh, come out and say the things that I was aware of, that I was told of what that alleged incident or incidents were. And it's not, and I do believe NDAs had probably been handed out in that, and it's not my business. It sucks. Alex Riley, I thought, was this is just the way life goes. His journey's different, his story's different, and we don't. And I never judge, and that guy's been through the ringer. But and I just know that mentally takes a toll on you, and it no doubt mentally probably took a good toll on him. You go from one end of things, of working hard and getting signed and getting into wrestling, and having really high expectations, and you being able to back up those expectations, and everything's in line and everything's going great. And then all of a sudden, because of something non-wrestling related, on a bus, your career is essentially over. That sucks. And it's, I just wish if he was able to get himself back in top shape and he was able to go and if he's healthy, I think, and he can get himself mentally right, I think he could be very beneficial to a wrestling company. But, there's work. It's like me. I've got a lot of work ahead. But like, I know what I have to do. I've stayed in shape. I've never let myself get out of shape, cardio or weights, anything. I know the transition of get ready physically, what we got to do on the wrestling side of things, and it's go time with that. But like I said, that's why people that when you get out of the business, you hear the other people talk about it, it's about going soft. You don't want to get soft. You don't want to mentally get soft. That's why I challenge myself still. I was just telling Trent Beretta, he's like, that's insanity. I was telling him about, like, he was saying he can't do cold tubs. And then, like, I was telling him, like, I do it multiple times a week, and I've done it up to 45 minutes many years ago, but I can go in there for easily. Once I'm in there for a few minutes, it doesn't matter. I can stand as pretty much to probably a good 20, 25, 30 minutes, pretty fairly easy, then go to the hot tub. But I was telling him, like, I've done the sauna for like 70 minutes straight, and like that's my record. And he was just like, that's borderline insanity, man. I go, but I'm doing it. That's not something I would do if I was wrestling. I might do it every once in a blue moon to test myself. And I don't do like the long, long ones every single time. And I'm even more aware of it now, so I don't get too depleted, because I pushed myself pretty hard in this. I'm doing it to mentally make sure that I could still throw myself in the fire and I still have that inner drive and that hunger in me that I talk about all the time. The only way that these things get applied is if you practice them. So I've had to find ways to practice this stuff, going live on this stuff every day. I love it because it's a challenge. What are we going to talk about? And it helps. It keeps my voice. It keeps me just thinking, keeps me sharp. Whereas if I didn't do this, if I didn't do podcasting this whole time, it could be very good chance that you could be very, very rusty speaking when you're not practicing this stuff. So I've always had ulterior intentions with outside of the business aspect of things, because I realized, no, this will be good for me. And I have experience in knowing, things, and like, you've got to practice certain things to be able to just stay on top of it with it. And that in the sauna, and it's just to mentally test myself, to push myself. And that's why the cardio, and I say conditioning creates confidence. I do cardio harder now than I even did at wrestling, because I'm not wrestling, and I need to make myself feel that burn and that blow up, and I have to fight through it. And I got to keep my cardio getting higher and higher and higher, better than it's been, because I don't, if you stop doing it, you lose that. And that's the most difficult thing for an athlete or a wrestler or a fighter, is the conditioning, because they let themselves get soft, because you take yourself out of that environment of having to do it all the time. I have been very disciplined in not letting that happen this entire time, and staying at a certain level the whole time. No matter how I had to take time off, I still stayed active and got right back, and kept everything in to keep myself at a certain level, to make that transition so it's not as drastic, because a lot of time has gone by. But not everyone understands that. And I've been around and I've learned from people and other things. And like I've said, in reading a lot in audiobooks of like successful people, I go, you can't let yourself get too comfortable in that, because you will actually be taking yourself further away from your goals. So. Yeah, cold tubs are fantastic. I think both Edge and Kevin Nash are awesome. I don't think I think it's a waste of time talking about stuff like that on like who had a bigger impact. I just think, can't we just be happy both have been a huge positive for the pro wrestling business? And maybe that's not to everybody. Maybe to some people they haven't with that. But I think I don't have anything to contribute to that, to say who had a bigger impact on the business. Taking a look at it, Tyler, I'm looking for the super chat that I supposedly missed. I'm scrolling through here. Taking a look. There's been a lot of comments in here today, and I'm good to see all of you. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Do I have a favorite mode of transportation? Jose, of course, Jose. That's a question from Jose in Santiago. Automobiles, I would say, are probably my favorite mode of transportation, Jose. I like being on the ground. I don't, flying is a necessary thing, especially in this day and age. And I'm always fine flying, but I prefer to drive if possible. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's very important. It's just pushing ourselves, and you have to. It's otherwise, I have enough experience of knowing what I was doing at that time, and how mentally sharp I was, and physically toughened up on things. And you just have to make sure that you do certain things to keep yourself on that, and to remind yourself of the work that that things take. And because it's easy to do a lower amount, and that becomes normal because you forget over time what you used to do. I never let myself forget what I did to make it, and I knew the work that I put in and the adjustments I made along the way that made a drastic impact on pushing me to the next level. And that is something that I've really held on to with that. So I have been to Texas Roadhouse. It's been quite a long time though since I have, probably 4 years since I've been there. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Good to see all of you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Walt, for saying that. You commend me for thinking of your health over money. You have to. It was. I was. It wasn't. It was. When it was as serious as what it was, it was. It was. It was a pretty easy decision on that, because it wouldn't have mattered how much money I would have had, if things would have gone the way that they easily could have. It would have been. It would have been pretty miserable. And I'm sure I would have adjusted and found a way to be positive and happy. But the things that I enjoy most in life would have been taken away, and I would have been forced to try to find all new things. And being physical and being physically active, and it's being, that's another thing. I deal with that. Always been very, very strong, very strong. And when you're injured and you can't lift heavy and do certain things, and it affects you, and like, there's just something about being really strong that's it's a very powerful feeling. And I, I could try to explain it, but you have to feel it. It's just something about having slabs of muscle and functional muscle that's explosive, and that, like, that you can literally just feel it when you flex, and you just feel things tighten up. And there's other people I've talked to they know exactly, and that it's what I'm talking about. And because they also have it's of similar builds, or big builds. And it's when you get that taken away, and you got to adjust things. And so part of your identity, a big part of your life, is then you're forced to then reevaluate and adjust things. And I always feel like I've done very good at all of this, and staying balanced and not letting things get me down, and with that, and finding ulterior ways to keep getting to my goals, and to keep staying at a certain level. But I'm hoping to get to where I could push it pretty hard, and with this right shoulder. And we're just got to stay on course here. Jose, the question did entertain me. It was out of the blue. Not every day that you get somebody you get somebody that says like, you're just walking and you just at a Walgreens, getting ready to pay at a Walgreens, and somebody just strikes up a conversation, and you just a little chit chat back and forth, and you just look at them, what's your favorite mode of transportation? And they're just like, excuse me, just taken back. You're like, yeah, transportation. What's your favorite mode of transportation? And they're just like looking at you, and they're like thinking like, is he like talking like bike, car, airplane? You just can't just go car, I guess. It's or you get somebody that loves flying and it really strikes up a conversation. You go get coffee with them afterwards at Starbucks, but you're not allowed to have coffee, so you got to drink a water, but you're really hitting it off well. And then you go back to your place, get a nice massage. 9 months later, you're daddy. Just you never know what can come from asking people random ass questions. But I was not expecting that to be asked what my favorite mode of transportation was today. I will watch Night of Champions. What's my third favorite dinosaur? I used to really enjoy Land Before Time when I was a kid. You know, everybody always knows like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I always liked the ones that were powerful but friendly. I feel like I'm a Brontosaurus, the big, strong, powerful, but could also because Brontosauruses could fight off T-Rexes, right? I'm not a dinosaur expert, but I feel like they with the big tails, they're able to whack them. I would big strong body, but nice. Eat leaves, eat plants. You're not, but you fight for the good. You fight for good. I feel like I'd be a Brontosaurus. I don't know, but you want to know my third favorite dinosaur, so we're gonna Triceratops. The old Triceratops is strong three. Jesus is Lord says, I can't wait for this technology to speed up the healing process. You know, I would honestly, I've been blessed with things of the stem cells. Like if I just lived an everyday life and wasn't as physical, I would be more than fine, and where I could be content living, even though I would still try for my training and like to get this. You know, it'd be great if the shoulder replacement they had was like the hip replacement, where you can go full blown and not have any limitations pretty much. You know, that technology's still not quite there yet with all of that. And but the main thing is you don't have to have cartilage to have a completely good shoulder. You just got to have everything working correctly. And that's what we're trying to get this. I've got a tissue that is bound up in causing the when things go to move, the scapula is not moving appropriately. And there's hitches in the movement that just need to be smoothed out. And you know, it's a frustrating thing because it's taken working. I stretch. I can get my arm behind my back now, stretching it. And I'm doing this every day, 5 days a week. I take the weekends off. I'm doing the rehab 5 days a week on top of the weight training. And then going to be the wet cupping. And she's going to, I just saw her yesterday. She wants to add in this different needling tech thing, not technology. It's a needling thing where she thinks she can help some structural issues here and get rocking and rolling. But the rehab that I'm doing, I did prior when I was really hurt. That rehab actually got it pretty strong, even with it all messed up. So the rehab now going full blown again, getting all this scar tissue broken up. I'm in a matter of weeks, I'm going to be probably in a really strong, like where I'm going to be very happy with where it's at. I just want to working on the flexibility and we're getting all that back. It's just, it's so many things every day that I have to do. I like hang from the pull-up bar every day, multiple grips and do that. And things just you just got to devote the time to it. And I've done this all along in the various stages of all of this. And now that I don't have to do the scar tissue work every day for the hours that I was doing and letting it rest on that end, I've got to increase the flexibility, use that time. But there's only so much of that you could do, and you don't want to go too hard, but you got to go pretty hard. And so, but I can get my arm behind my back now and keep moving it up. And I couldn't get my arm behind my back for the last 5 years, probably. Couldn't get it there. Pain was just too much. It was stuck. And now it's not stuck, and it is still not perfect, but it is going and it's stretching and it's getting better every day. And so, but we did the wet cupping yesterday, and the amount of inflammation she's getting out of there still is, she's never seen anything like it. And then it's kind of been par for the course with people. They've not seen it. There's just so much damage that was done, but that sucks the inflammation out of my shoulder. Everything goes down. Like my shoulder will actually, it's like blown up from inflammation at times, and like that gets sucked out of there with that wet cupping, and it makes it feel really, really, really good. And just staying on top, and it helps with the stretching and helps. Like I can hang on a pull-up bar now, reverse grip. I couldn't reverse grip hang from a pull-up bar. It hurts so bad. I mean, I'm talking it like it just could not do it. Couldn't even do it with a little bit of weight. I can now hang. I hung for 35 seconds the other day, multiple times with my hand, and the tissue ripped under that armpit area and was breaking up. That's been stuck. And it's like we're just, all this work we're putting in is getting us to the goal. It's just a matter of, he just has to get to a certain point where it's like, okay, we're good, and we'll be off to the races. Good to see all of you guys. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Victor, you're very welcome for the laughs yesterday. It was a good time, very good time. I will say that the big news that we didn't address yet on the pro wrestling front is AEW put out a release of AEW Collision, which would have been talked about, rumored prior the past couple weeks, right? Maybe even a little longer. And it's going to be a 2-hour show on Saturday nights, which I am a big fan of them going on a night here and doing this. And I'm really interested to see if Saturday night can become a big wrestling night. And I don't see any reason why it can't, with people and doing that. And if you've got names for the show, and then supposedly doing a roster split of sorts, I think that's going to be very beneficial to getting the people that should be on TV every week on a main show, having two main shows like Raw and SmackDown, and with the Rampage on there as well, and for the people getting opportunities to be on Rampage. And I think it's just kind of with AEW Dark and that going away, Rampage, hopefully people get some opportunities there. But and then you can have it, with the amount of people that they have, and this doesn't mean that everybody's gonna, but the people that they have under bigger contracts and things, I think it's going to be a good deal on that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that all unfolds. And I think it's going to create, it's good for the wrestling business. It's good for wrestlers when a company, they're very, year 4 now, 3 or 4. It's crazy how much fast time has gone by, but they are growing and creating it. It's more opportunities for people to get over, and more jobs for wrestlers and to be paid well on that. And it's such a positive on that. You don't want less shows, and because it makes it harder to get opportunities and things, and you have a lot of talented people. And so this is a very, very positive step forward in just pro wrestling in general with that. And I hope everyone understands that. Don't root against that, because it's hurting the product that you supposedly love for wrestlers. And the product is better when there's more opportunities and more competition. It creates a better environment as far as a better product and getting more people seen. The best way to get rid of sugar for a lot of processed foods. and getting and trying to eat a clean diet, and the sugar that you do eat should come from naturally occurring in certain fruits, and like beets, vegetables. Beets have a little bit of sugar, but they're very low carb, and especially just eat a few servings, it's hardly anything with that, and it's so beneficial. But limiting the amount and knowing the fruits that you eat and eating them, not having your fats and carbs together, but trying to eliminate processed foods. Is in a lot of foods you use a lot of different additives and ingredients that affect your hunger, and make it more difficult to have control. A lot of people don't realize this, and it was something I never realized for the longest time, is that these foods that taste really good with that are actually creating more problems for you. They are taking away your self control and your ability to want to make good food choices to make these companies more money. This is a proven thing. This isn't made up. This is going on in the food industry, the drink industry, across the board, the food and beverage industry. You've got to be very conscious of the things that we're putting in our body, and the more that you can do that, implement a little bit of fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or a prolonged fast every week, your body's going to start to regulate, and you're going to get more power over time, and you're going to start choosing better things. It's so easy for me to choose to eat good now than it was when I was younger, and it was because I don't have all the processed foods, and I'm so much more aware. And I'll still have a few things you want, if they're processed, you want it to be as lightly processed as possible, like canned food goods. It's not the same as buying beans and cooking the beans yourself, but rinse them out and you get the low sodium ones. And get the organic. It's not that big of a deal, but it's always best to try to eat food in its most natural state possible with that as much as possible. I get we live in this day and age, and we're gonna indulge from time to time and enjoy things, but we need to be aware of the choices that we make can have can impact us down the line in other ways, and our choices, and make things more difficult that don't need to be more difficult. But that's what a lot of us don't understand. Like, I grew up in the era of processed foods being pushed on our parents, and prior with that, and a lot of things being coming out to market with high sugars and for the first time, and to come out all right from that, and because I was out of control when I was younger. I ate so much junk when I was a kid. My mom, we always had a healthy, she made dinners and had a lot of healthy choice. I ate a lot of healthy foods too. But this stuff was like, man, you know, cereal filled with sugar, so good. You don't realize that, if you're a kid and that's what you're growing up on, you don't know that there's other choices unless your parents present you with those other choices and are able to explain and talk to you why those choices are better more often than not. That's not happening ultimately, and it's happening in some households. Most of them, it's not. Right? So we have these ideas and beliefs about food as we get older. It's because of how we were raised as well. And then the things, and some people, parents are better at kind of presenting children with other choices, and helping inform them than others. And but once we can get control, a lot of positive things start to happen. Thank you, Miss V, saying I have that beautiful pool out back. How often do you go out and just lounge in the pool versus using it for a workout? Yeah, I during the summer I'll go out there and jump in a lot more. Obviously, during the winter, I might just jump in it to do that before I do my hot tub. If I don't want to do my cold tub, the pool, I'll do the cold. I'll just jump in the pool because it's cold and it's freezing. And I have more room to move around in there. But I typically do my laps once a week here in the weather, and I just went in it the other day. The weather's warming up now, so I just did it a couple days ago, and I did the hot tub today. No pool today, but I'll go in there and I'll stretch in there, and I'll just hang out in there for a bit. The dogs are out in the back, uh, and I'll do laps though, usually during once or twice a week even, and then other times I'll go out there pretty regularly and just jump in, like after a workout. I might just jump in to cool off when it's 115, 110. I know I'm going to get a little bit of color just being out there for 10, 15 minutes because it's so damn hot. And then I come and do the shower. I might do that a couple times a week, usually too, and maybe a little more here and there. Um, Might have a lady friend come over from time to time. That's a perk of having the pool. A lot of, yeah, sure. Come on over. Come on over. The But yeah, I love that pool though. It's the waterfall. I leave it running during the day. It shuts off at night. Very relaxing. All the trees are getting big. My moringa tree, unfortunately, is not bloomed yet. It went dormant during the winter, but it never got cold enough. It didn't die. The wood on it looks great, but it has not grown. They say May is when it usually will come back. I'm hoping that this thing, I'm not giving up on it. That moringa tree grew. I grew it last over a year, and it is a monster now. A little over a year from getting that as a little baby plant, and this thing is shot way over the wall. That thing's going to be huge and provide some good shade. So I'm hoping it comes back, but it does not come back yet. And so it's the only one of my trees that hasn't. Take that back. There's a Fuji apple tree that I got that I needed to get to. I have another apple tree that's growing really well out there with the pomegranate tree. That's growing well. That already grew pomegranates last year. Were great. But the Fuji apple tree and I have a honey crisp apple tree. The Fuji apple needs to the leaves all fell off and it hasn't come back. And I have a feeling that's dead. So I'm probably going to have to go get another tree here for the front, but I don't know if the spot that I have if there's something with the drainage of that tree, because it's closer to the street and the cement. And I feel like there's just something that tree just rejected that spot right from the start. And it's unfortunately, I had a cherry tree that died, that was doing really well last year, that didn't survive. It grew cherries and then it died. I don't know how that happened though in the middle of the summer last year. I think it just got too hot, and I had a watering schedule that all the other trees were doing well with. So, but it's kind of cool when you start growing this stuff. It's like it's like life. Some things go really well, and I've got multiple trees out there that are turning into beasts, and it's like, yes, it's a cool feeling because you go out there, you plant them from when they're baby trees, and they're providing fruit and growing and getting big, and then others don't make it, and it's just you got to you try to figure out what you did wrong or what could have went wrong. But I'm hoping that moringa, because everything it was so big and doing so good and grew so fast, and the winter didn't get cold here. The temperatures, they say that for a tree to not do well, but they do say you could get a bag for the tree to keep it warm. I didn't do that because it never got that cold during the winter here, but it could have. It's not uncommon for them to go dormant, and they say they come back. But that's what I'm hoping is the case with this. But if not, I'll get another one and take another crack at it, and then try to keep the winter, just keep a bag over it at night, to a warming bag, and see if that, because it just needs to survive one winter essentially, and the tree it pretty much will survive from everything I've seen. But we got to see if it comes back. Yeah, Arizona's like living in hell. Vegas, brother, I'm enjoying the last bit of before it gets scorching hot. We're in the 90s this week and next week, and after that, once the hundreds start hitting, that air is just cranking all day long. Inside, you don't really. But when you go outside, it is. It's like you want to start your car probably 10 minutes before. Let that air start hitting in the car, because if you get in a car, and I've always been used to it, but it is scorching hot. It's like getting into a sauna, and in there, and like that's not you don't want inside of your car to feel like a sauna most of the time. It takes a minute for that air to really get cool. But yeah, we've got 3 months coming up of intense heat. Thank you, Alex, for calling me a jobber. You want to come talk to me for a minute before we wrap up today's show, Alex? I'm going to let Alex come in here. Alex, I'm going to give you a little thing to click on right here if you want to come in and join the show. Before we wrap up, I'm not going to be mean or anything, Alex. I don't think you're a bad person. You could be a kid for all I know. Alex, if you click that link, it'll let you come in. before we wrap up, we'll end today's show talking to Alex. An error occurred. Wait a moment. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm never going to retire just because you said that. Even when I'm officially done, I'm just never going to retire, just in spite of you. Jamie, thank you very much for saying I inspire you and for the positive support. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you're doing well and having a good day. Thank you for saying Ryback rules forever. Ryback rules. Alex, yeah, listen to the guest, Alex. The guests are telling you to man up. I don't know how old you are. I'm not going to jump to conclusions here. I'm not going to assume anything. You could just be a person that wants just to be attention. You just could be saying it as a joke. You could mean it with it, but we don't know. Let me see your face on there, Alex, so I could see. Are you a kid? Show your face on the screen, Alex, so we can see. Okay, thank you. We'll add Alex to. Are you there, Alex?
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. How old are you?
21.
Where do you live?
PA.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
What part?
Lancaster.
Is that what big city is that close to?
Probably Philly.
How far are you from Hershey?
Probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that Hershey was always one of my favorite places to wrestle. They were always really good crowds. Hershey is very, very positive crowds there for some reason. A little different atmosphere from Philadelphia. Philly could be a little more wild.
Yeah, Philly's definitely out there.
So why do you think I'm a jobber and a jabroni?
Me and my friend here, we're ribbing you. We were joking around. We're actually we liked you when you were on TV.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I feel like you could express that a little differently than calling me a jobber and a jabroni in the chat.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. It doesn't bother me. I'm not. It's not going to affect my day. And I just think that if I like somebody, I want it like go to their, like, I like Arnold. I grew up loving. I want it like go to Arnold and say, Arnold, you're a tiny little pipsqueak. I'd squash you like a bug, a tumor. Like, I want it like go say something like to insult him if he doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Because I would just think that it would he'd probably block me or not talk to me. But I've seen this before. People do that, and then they're usually pretty decent. So I like to show people that, like, not everyone that says things actually feels the way that they might come across.
Yeah.
What are you going to do today?
Not sure yet. Still kind of early.
Early? It's what time? It's like 3:00 there.
Yeah.
What are you and your friend doing? You guys smoking weed? You guys into weed? Drinking? What do you drink? You drinking some Bud Lights, or what's going on over there?
No, just water.
Okay, good. You work out today or no?
No, we're gonna go on a hike probably soon though.
Oh yeah, where at?
We've been going on a number of trails. There's a bunch out here. Just depends on who's going with and how far they want to walk.
You guys ain't going down that Hershey trail, are you?
No.
All right, I'm just checking. Nothing against it. I'm just checking, buddy. All right. Well, I appreciate your time and coming on. All right. You have a good day and be safe on the hike.
You too, bro.
All right, bud. Take care. Bye, buddy. All right. There we go. Thank you very much for your time, Alex. I hope everybody can see. I like to give examples and give people an opportunity to come on. And, I could have shell shocked Alex. Alex made a few comments. And sometimes it's good to, hey, wait, let's not. I hit the meat hook, but let's pull it back. Let's pick him up. Let's give him a chance to explain himself. And he turns out to be a good egg. I'm a little concerned that he thinks 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon's early. It's a good part of the day's been gone, but I hope you enjoy your hike out there, Alex, and be safe. I hope you guys enjoyed. With that, guys, we are going to wrap up today's show. I've got a lot. I've got to get going and get done here for the day, and I've got to go to the gym. I'm trying to get a total gym elevate shoulder press that's very good for my shoulder because I need to do a lot of shoulder presses multiple times a week. that I've been working out from home a lot. Is because I've got all my I do all my shoulders. I do my shoulder stretching and stuff too in between my sets, and really like so that I can't do all that going to a gym. But certain times I got to go to the gym because I like doing shoulder day at the gym for some of the machines. It's really beneficial for my shoulder on top of. But I'm trying to get one. I found one on eBay. It's actually in Pennsylvania. Maybe Alex could actually hold it for me. I'm trying to get the buyer. He wants somebody to pick it up locally, but I'm trying to get him to send it to me, and I'll pay for shipping. But I don't know if they're like unable to. I don't know what the situation. I'm waiting to hear back actually, because I found a brand new, like the red and yellow one, and they have a pull-up one also that I wouldn't mind getting. But I could fit the push-up in my gym. I have room for it. I made room, and so I'm trying to get one more piece of equipment here. It's crazy that's in Pennsylvania and Alex is there. But so anyways, I've got to get all that. But check out Feed Me More Nutrition, guys. Feedmemore.com. All the Ryback merch on there as well. We will be back tomorrow for one more Ryback show, and then I believe we'll do a feeding time, and I've got to get another Ryback Has Heat as well. I may even record that either tonight or tomorrow, and get another Ryback Has Heat up. Possibly, if I can get it tonight, I'll get that up tomorrow. If not, it might be into the weekend. With that, we'll have to see. I've got some hot things in there, and I've got to psych myself up. But I'm also telling myself that I've got to do this because I've got my hot sauce coming out, and to mentally get myself ready for wrestling, I have to do the hot challenges again that I've already done, but doing different ones to get myself mentally tough again. So we'll see. So there's a gummy bear or a nut. I might do the gummy bears today and then do the nut challenge one they have the following week. So, and then my Ryback Pepper Slam challenge, chug challenge is coming out. The labels were coming in, and also good news, the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the pink lemonade is at the manufacturer of the labels, and I think they're getting ready to run it, and hopefully I'm hoping in the next week or two that I get that email that is being shipped out to fulfillment, and you guys will be getting that pink lemonade with the mango candy back, getting or two strong flavors with that, and so I'm looking forward to making that. And I've got the Brain Feed on reorder, which is the only item we have out of stock. So that one is just on waiting for labels and get that ball rolling. And so, yeah, thank you guys very much. Feed Me More Nutrition, feedmemore.com. Have a great day, guys. And until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more.
Hey, Rybackers, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and shell shock those notifications. And for the best supplements on the planet with Feed Me More Nutrition and all the latest cool new Ryback merch, visit feedmemore.com.